Hey guys, back here from our Pat here. Guys, today is a very exciting day for me. The weather has finally cooled off. The fall is falling, guys, and we have a ton to do in the garden. I've been kind of laying off planting during the summer because it was just so hot. So I just allowed whatever was in the garden to grow, and I didn't really do much planting. But today we have a ton going on. As you can see, we have lots of transplants to put in the ground. We have lots of seeds to start. We have a ton going on, guys. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get started on what I'm planting for the month of October. Let's get started. All right, where do we start? Where do we start? I have so much going in, guys. I am just really excited about this. Some of the things that you see going in, you're gonna say, hey, you already have that in your garden. But over the summer, a lot of my plants died back because it was just so brutally hot, and especially my mints. You guys know mints, they do really well in the fall, in the cooler weather. But sometimes in the summer, especially when where they're in the direct sun, they can really, fail. Some of my mints are actually coming back, but I wanted to have more mint because, guys, we use a lot of mint in our garden. We use a lot in our home. We use a lot of herbs, but my husband especially really loves the mints. So let's go through first. All the plants in the back are actually plants that I bought yesterday at Mango Belly Nursery. That's in Central Florida in Melbourne. Anyway, so let's go through these plants. So, oh, and all these plants, let me just show you. These are some pretty big plants, guys. These plants were all $5 each. So normally I would, of course, the cheapest way is always to plant from seed. But there are times when I just kind of want to speed things up. There's no shame at all in buying transplants, especially when you get great deals like this. If I was to get these at like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, I'd probably be spending $10 for each of these things. But this size is only $5 compared to the size you get at Home Depot and Lowe's for $5.68 to be specific. It's like a little tiny container like this. So starting from here, this is my spearmint, and you can see it's already trailing, that long trailer everywhere that touches, that vine touches, everywhere that there is a leaf node will form roots. So it's easy if you have an area that you don't mind, filling up with mint. This is a great plant to put directly in the ground if you wanted to take over. I do have a 3x3 bed that I'm gonna just fill with different mints and just allow it to take over. Mints like water, so you have to make sure you're keeping it in a moist place. And especially in like zones 10, like South Florida or 9B, Central Florida, you want to give it some kind of protection from the sun. But since we're going into the fall, I'm just going to go ahead and put them directly in the bed. The good thing about mints is that even if they die back, they'll most likely come back the following year. That's what's happened with mine, but mine are just really small right now. And for $5, I figured, I'll get these in. So I have my spearmint here, and then right beside it, I have my, this is just a traditional French thyme. I have tons of Jamaican broadleaf thyme, but my husband loves the regular French thyme. And traditionally, we use a lot of this, mainly this in Jamaica. And here we have, this is mojito mint, right? So I have different kinds of mint. As I said, I love mint. With mints, just a tip with mints, thyme, the more you cut it back is the more it grows. So we're gonna start using these right away. You can see they're pretty big plants. So we're gonna start using them right away, cutting them back so they can get even bushier. Here I have lavender. I tried lavender once before. I think Central Florida is just a little bit hot for it, but since the weather is just cooling off now, and we will have a few months of cool weather, I'm hoping that my lavender will stand up. Then right behind it, I have a rosemary, and you guys know I have a massive rosemary plant under my banana tree. I just did a huge rosemary harvest. You guys saw me make rosemary oils for the hair and everything. Guys, with all the rain that we had, can you believe my rosemary plant is like dying? It's like dying back. So I do have rosemary seeds, but just to get things started, because we do use a lot of rosemary, I'm gonna put a rosemary plant this rosemary, so we'll have some right away. Also plan on starting some rosemary seeds. Not today, but I'm gonna be starting rosemary seeds. Then finally for the transplants from Mango Belly, this is a chocolate mint. Also a really nice mint for tea or, to add to your drinks. The only other transplant I bought, and it's really just to show you guys, is I got this from Ace today. And this is a big boy tomato, beefsteak tomato. I've never planted beefsteak before. This is a nice big slicing tomato. What I love about Ace, guys, is that they give you a 4 cell pack of plants for only $2, like $2.50. And this one only had one plant per cell, but I did a video last week where I showed I got, I think, 70 something plants for like $28 at Ace, because with the 4 packs that I bought had multiple plants per cell. So like I would buy one 4 pack and have like 8 or 9 plants. So I end up getting like 70 something plants for like 20 something bucks. Here I have my beefsteak tomatoes. Then I have 2 sets of onions. And with onions, if you're planting onions, there are different ways to plant the onions. You can plant the onion sets like this. What you have to be careful of is that when you're planting onions, there are long day and short day onions. I'm in Central Florida. We use the short day onions here. So these bags did not say short or long day. So I got yellow and I got red. However, I did buy, these are also from Ace. I did buy these last year from Ace and they did extremely well. So even though they don't say long or short day, they did well for me. They were smaller. These are a lot bigger. But that should, if anything, that's probably better. So I'm going to be planting yellow onions and my red onions. So I'm going to be planting these in certain areas, like in clumps, but I'm also going to be planting them in between different plants. Then I'm also going to be planting different potatoes. So I bought, I believe I got this at Aldi's. It's a Tasteful Selection American Blend bite-sized potatoes. I bought this pack of potatoes for maybe $3. But what I really, really bought them for are these purple flesh tomatoes. The skin is purple, and if you dig inside, the inside is a dark, dark, dark purple. And these potatoes grow extremely well. Last year, I planted all 3 colors. These, year after year, do the very best, and I get bigger potatoes than this. So I got 1 pack. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of the purple ones. And but I'm also going to plant these other ones. I've had it for like a couple weeks. I just sat it on the kitchen counter to allow it to start forming the little eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these potatoes. And I also have, these are my regular red potatoes. We like red potatoes here. I have had these on the counter for a few weeks too. And guys, I don't buy seed potatoes. I just buy the regular supermarket potatoes. I'm in Florida. I try to buy potatoes that are from Florida so that I figure they'll have a better chance. So I just bought potatoes from Walmart from a local grower. And here I have them all forming eyes. I know all the time you hear on YouTube that if you buy potatoes from the store, they won't form eyes or they won't grow. I haven't had any problems at all growing potatoes. And I wouldn't consider myself a potato expert. So I'm going to use those. Also, I've already planted a ton of ginger a couple weeks ago. I didn't wait for this video. I went ahead and planted them in the garden. If we get time, I'll run outside and show you guys how they're doing so far. They've all already sprouted. And here I have turmeric. I was trying to get I was resting the turmeric on the counter, hoping that some would start sprouting. Usually with turmeric, whenever you see these little heads, this is where they sprout from. What I noticed for the turmeric I bought, guys, can you believe, I really and truly believe the store actually went through and removed all the little knobs. So I had to like search through and try and find some that had 1 or 2 knobs. So that's what I have here. Some of them don't have any knobs, they're all scraped off. But it just, I grow turmeric. And normally, it's not normal that every knob is just gone like that. Usually, when I pull my turmeric out, I have the nice fat knobs and then I can just replant them. So I'm going to plant these few pieces. I do still have turmeric in the garden, so if these don't come up, some of these will come up, but if not, I do have turmeric in the garden, and I'll just save my own turmeric next time. I did save turmeric last year, but then, guys, I ended up using it all because I love to put turmeric in my shakes. So, it's all good. So that's it, I think, for non-seeds, for the plants and the bulbs that I'm planting. So now let's move on to our seeds. So first up, we have, which one is this? We have our sweet peas. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how to plant the different kinds of seeds, because as you can see, I have different kinds of seeds here. And I may do some little video shorts showing how I plant them, but for seeds like this, so this is what they look like coming out of the bag. I just took these out of the bag this morning. You can see they're very dried up. You can plant them like this. However, they do a lot better if you hydrate them first. So this, it's in the afternoon now. It's like about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Probably like 9 o'clock this morning. I put these in warm water, guys. These are the same peas, right? So I hydrated them in warm water so that they can fill up with water. You want to hydrate them probably overnight or at least 12 hours. I think this is close enough to 12 hours. But you can see they're totally filled up and ready to be planted. I did the same for my nasturtiums. They were completely dried up. And they still look a little dry. Actually they're soft. So the nasturtiums are normally very, very dry. And now I can actually squeeze this. Now this is soft, this is ready. Nasturtiums are flowers that pair very well with fruits, with the different fruits and herbs and plants that I'm planting. It helps to keep away the bad bugs as well as attract good bugs. So, and it does really well because it attracts really good pollinators. So it's really great to have nasturtiums along beside your tomatoes or your peppers or whatever else you're planting. So those are my nasturtium seeds that are going in. Then I have my Florida mustard greens, and most of these are seeds that I had saved from last year. But I do have a bag. Hold on. Florida mustard greens. Actually, I don't have a bag. But last year I grew Florida mustard greens, and they are huge greens. They are massive. Like, you literally just need one leaf to stir fry and have a good meal. And these grow extremely well, extremely easily. As a matter of fact, if for those of you who've been with me for a while, you'll remember all the mustard greens that grew in my garden last year were actually mustard greens that had reseeded themselves and sprung up from the season before. So here I have my Florida mustard greens. Oh, I almost missed this. I skipped over this. This is my short and sweet carrots. It's burpee, short and sweet. I've never grown this kind before, but I have someone who lives in my area that grew this, and he said he had an abundant amount. And that takes me to the point, guys. Where, depending on where you live, what you're growing may be very different from what I'm growing today. You want to grow things that grow well in your area. Figure out what zone you're in, figure out what your climate is, and then you can just do a Google search to find herbs, plants, flowers, fruits that grow well in my area, and then plant according to that and plant according to the month. Because even though something grows well, if you're in New York, you may not want to start planting some of these things now because the frost and the freeze is around the corner. So my short and sweet carrots, I'm so looking forward to this. I heard that they grow extremely well. What I'm gonna do with some of these, with carrots, you don't want to transplant carrots. You want to direct sow. So once my bed is ready, I'm just gonna directly sow this. I'm not gonna transplant these. However, for like the nasturtiums, the easy peas, and even these greens, the cabbage, the Florida mustard greens, I'm gonna sow those in plant cells. Once they spring up to a certain like 2 or 3 leaf sets, then I'll go ahead and transplant them. So that takes us to the next one, our round Dutch cabbage. This is another one from Ferry Morse that I'm going to try for the first time. I heard that this also does really well in Central Florida. Last year, I grew cauliflowers, and they were actually some of those 4-cell starts that I got from Ace. So this is going to be my first time growing cabbage from seeds. So I'm really looking forward to that. Then here I have my Chijimisai. And guys, last year was the first time I grew this, and I think this has become my favorite green. The flavor is delicious. It's like a bok choy flavor, and there are like no worms, no insects bothered it, no disease bothered it, and it was just prolific, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm going to be planting some more Chijimisai seeds. And I also saved a ton of Chijimisai last year. Okay, so let's move on to some, let's see what else we have here. Let's move on to some peppers. So there are two peppers that I'm planting. This is pimento pepper, Trinidad and Tobago pimento pepper. I got my seeds from somewhere called Peppers Anyhow. They're on Etsy. So here I have my Trinidad and Tobago pepper, pimento pepper. And I'm really looking forward to this because I heard pimento peppers are really good in jerk seasoning. Of course, you know, jerk season is traditionally Scotch bonnet, but I heard the flavor of pimento is extremely good, but without the heat. So I think it'll be good to blend this with Scotch bonnet. So I'm trying this for the second or third time. For some reason, I can't get these to germinate, but I'm hoping this time they will germinate fine. They also sent me this free pepper. This is Bahamian gold pepper, and it says it's fruity and citrusy. So, hey, who doesn't like a fruity and citrusy pepper? So I'm really looking forward to this. If you guys notice, I also have these peppers soaking. So pepper seeds also germinate really well if you give them a little soak. I did notice that the pimento pepper seeds floated to the bottom, which is good. You know, the seeds are viable when they float straight to the bottom. It's been several hours, and the Bahamian gold peppers, only one floated to the bottom. But hey, they were free peppers, free seeds. I'm gonna still plant them, and hopefully we'll get to try the Bahamian gold pepper. So outside of that, I have some other things here that are that didn't make it to the big table. But my Thornburg terracotta tomatoes, I absolutely love. I plan on planting that again. I do plan on planting sweet 1 million tomatoes, but I think I'll probably just get transplants. You usually can get those transplants really cheap because I don't have the seeds. So I'll just get a couple transplants. I am gonna also grow some onions from seeds. I know I had the onion sets, but I've always heard that growing the onions from seeds are better. So I'm gonna try both and see which ones are better. But I'm gonna grow a few of these also. And then some of these are like old seeds that I've had for years that I'm just gonna sprinkle, and if it comes up, it comes up. But I have red Russian kale, I have basil that I'm gonna also sprinkle, and this one is the blue spice basil. It was a free seed I got from Baker's Creek, so I'm gonna sprinkle some of this. Then I have some coriander, and I mean cilantro. I grew cilantro the first year, it got huge. And for those of you who don't know, when you grow the cilantro plant and you allow it to go to seed, the actual seeds are coriander. So you're really getting two spices for the price of one. So definitely I will start some of these cilantro seeds. Then finally, I have some dinosaur kale. Last year I tried this, or 2 years ago. These didn't come up. So some of these seeds I'm just gonna sprinkle and see what comes of it. Then finally, these last two seed mixes are classic mix. Last year, earlier this year, I did a video for a company called Lead Pot, which is the hydroponic system, and these grew tremendously. Like in like 22 days, 23 days, I had a ton of salad. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this again. I'm gonna grow these salad mixes inside in my lead pot instead of in the garden. Real quick, I want to show you in the garden some seeds that popped up from last year that I'm just gonna transplant. I'll do that in a separate video, but I want to show you real quick. Before we go outside, I am gonna be trying beets again. Last year, again, this was one of the transplants that I bought. The 4 pack that ended up being like a 8 or 9 pack for $2.50 at Ace. But this time, I do have some old beet seeds that I'm gonna try and grow some beets. I'm also gonna be growing some basil. Yes, guys, I'm doing a lot. And then finally, these are some additional old carrot seeds. These are they're called tender sweet carrots. So we're gonna try and grow these also. All right, let's go outside real quick and see what popped up from last year. Guys, this is my chijimisai from last year that popped up. So I have not planted any seeds yet for chijimisai, and these all popped up. So I'm gonna be coming through and separating these soon because they're all too close together. But you know, oh, I forgot about this. This this is Jamaican oregano. So not Jamaican thyme. This is a Jamaican oregano. My first time growing this. Anyway, you can see back here we have bok choys popping up. We have chijimisai on this side. And I saw some mustard greens popping up in the grass. So, once you plant these things, guys, they come back year after year. Oh, I did promise you guys I was going to show you the ginger. This is the ginger I stuck in the ground a few weeks ago. And you can see they're all popping up. They're all popping up. The chickens came through and dug up a lot. You can see, look at that. Some of the ginger is exposed. The chickens came through and did a lot of digging up, but not too much damage. I'm gonna come back in and just remulch this, but these are all the gingers that were planted. Store-bought ginger. I usually like to use the Aldi's, not Aldi's. I use Aldi's ginger sometimes, or I buy the BJ's ginger. The BJ's has a huge box of organic ginger, so BJ's is my favorite place to grow to buy ginger from. But that's it. That's it, guys. Till next time, we'll be growing. I'll do some clips showing you the actual plants and of it, but I just wanted you guys to know what I am growing this October. Till next time, bye now.